The internet, it's where we get cat videos, recipes for banana bread, and increasingly scammed out of our hard-earned cash. The FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, or IC3, has just released its 2024 annual report. And folks, it's a doozy. In 2024, the IC3 received a staggering 859,532 complaints about cybercrime. That's a lot of complaints. And an even more staggering statistic, these crimes resulted in a record-breaking $16.6 billion in losses. To put that in perspective, that's enough money to buy every single person in Wyoming a brand new Tesla. And it's not just the sheer number of complaints that's alarming, it's the rate at which cybercrime is growing. Compared to 2023, financial losses from cybercrime skyrocketed by a whopping 33%. That's like saying, remember that time you burned dinner and the smoke alarm went off? Well, imagine that happening every single day for a year. It's relentless, it's pervasive, and it's getting worse. This isn't just some abstract problem for tech wizards to worry about. This is hitting real people right in their digital wallets. The average reported loss to cybercrime in 2024 was $19,372. That's a significant chunk of change for anyone, and it highlights the devastating impact these crimes can have on individuals and families. We're talking about a digital crime wave of epic proportions, folks, and it's time we all took notice. While cybercrime can affect anyone with an internet connection, certain demographics are particularly vulnerable, and guess who's at the top of that list? If you guessed young, tech-savvy millennials, congratulations, you are wrong. It's actually our beloved seniors who are most often targeted by cybercriminals. In 2024, individuals over the age of 60 filed a heart-wrenching 147,127 complaints with the IC3. Even more alarming, they suffered a disproportionate share of the financial losses, totaling a gut-wrenching $4.8 billion. Let's be clear, that's $4.8 billion stolen from the generation that built this country. It's unconscionable. Why are seniors such prime targets? Well, it's a combination of factors. For one, they often have a lifetime of savings accumulated, making them attractive targets for financial fraud. Additionally, some seniors may be less familiar with the ins and outs of the internet, making them more susceptible to phishing scams and other online trickery. It's like asking your sweet grandma to navigate a game of laser tag while wearing a blindfold and riding a unicycle. It's not fair, and it's certainly not right. We need to do better to protect our seniors from these digital predators. So, what are the most common cybercrimes hitting our inboxes and emptying our bank accounts? Let's break it down, shall we? In the world of cybercrime, it seems some things never go out of style. Phishing scams, those digital con games designed to trick you into handing over your personal information, reigned supreme in 2024, racking up an astounding 193,407 complaints. That's like saying scam in 193,407 different digital languages. Coming in a close second were extortion attempts, with 86,415 complaints lodged with the IC3. These digital bullies use threats and intimidation to squeeze money out of their victims. It's the digital equivalent of a shakedown, and it's despicable. And rounding out the top three were personal data breaches, clocking in at 64,882 complaints. Remember that time you used a public Wi-Fi network and didn't bother with a VPN? Yeah, that might come back to haunt you. But when it comes to cold, hard cash, some cybercrimes pack a much bigger punch. Investment scams, those get-rich-quick schemes that are anything but, were the undisputed heavyweight champions of financial loss in 2024, draining a jaw-dropping $6.57 billion from unsuspecting victims. That's enough money to buy a small island or a really, really big yacht. Business email compromise, or BC scams, where cyber criminals impersonate executives to pull off sophisticated financial heists, came in second place with a still eye-watering $2.77 billion in losses. And finally, the ever-persistent tech support scams, those digital wolves in sheep's clothing, rounded out the top three with $1.46 billion in losses. Now, let's talk about cyber-enabled fraud, because believe it or not, there's a subtle difference. We're talking about old-school scams like confidence tricks and investment schemes, but with a digital twist. It's like your grandpa's old fishing lures, but with fancy new holographic finishes. And folks, cyber-enabled fraud is booming. In 2024, it accounted for a staggering 83% of all cybercrime losses reported to the IC3, totaling a mind-boggling $13.7 billion. Some of the most prevalent cyber-enabled scams included call center schemes, which raked in $1.9 billion from 53,369 reported victims. Then there were emergency scams, those heartless cons that prey on people's good intentions, which netted $2.7 million from 357 reported victims. And let's not forget those pesky toll scams, which, while less financially devastating, still managed to bilk 59,271 people out of a combined $129,624. And finally, we have the audacity of gold courier scams, which pulled in a whopping $219 million from just 525 reported victims. These scams highlight the audacity and reach of cybercriminals in today's digital age. They're not just after your credit card details anymore, they're after your emotions, your trust, and ultimately your life savings. Section 5. The persistent threat of ransomware. If cybercrime were a horror movie franchise, ransomware would be the unkillable monster that keeps coming back for more. In 2024, ransomware remained a significant cyber threat, particularly for critical infrastructure organizations responsible for things like our power grids, hospitals, and transportation systems. Imagine a world where your local hospital can't access patient records because they're being held hostage by digital extortionists. It's a terrifying thought. The IC3 received 4,878 complaints from critical infrastructure organizations reporting ransomware attacks in 2024. That's like saying we're under attack. In 4,878 different ways, and it's a clear indication that these organizations are firmly in the crosshairs of cyber criminals. And just like any good horror movie villain, ransomware is constantly evolving. Some of the most prevalent ransomware variants identified in 2024 included Akira, Lockbit, Ransom Hub, Fog, and Play. These digital plagues are designed to lock down computer systems, encrypting critical data and holding it hostage until a ransom is paid. Section 6. Fighting back. The IC3's countermeasures. But fear not, dear reader, for it is not all doom and gloom in the digital Wild West. The IC3, along with its partners in law enforcement, is working tirelessly to combat cybercrime and bring these digital desperados to justice. One of the IC3's most potent weapons in this fight is the Recovery Asset Team, a specialized unit dedicated to freezing assets and recovering funds lost to cybercrime. In 2024, this team successfully recovered a staggering $469.1 million domestically and another $92.5 million internationally. That's like saying, we want our money back in 174 different currencies, and it's a testament to the IC3's dedication to holding cybercriminals accountable. They've also had some notable victories in shutting down large-scale cybercrime operations. Take Operation Level Up, for example. This operation targeted cryptocurrency investment fraud, and in 2024 alone, it identified and notified 4,323 victims, ultimately saving an estimated $285.7 million from falling into the wrong hands. Section 7. Global Cooperation, a united front against cybercrime. Cybercrime knows no borders, and neither does the fight against it. The IC3 recognizes that international collaboration is key to effectively tackling this global challenge. In 2024, the IC3 worked closely with law enforcement agencies around the world to dismantle cybercrime networks and bring perpetrators to justice. One notable example of this international collaboration was a joint operation between the IC3 and Indian authorities targeting call center fraud. This operation led to a staggering 215 arrests in 2024, a whopping 700% increase from the previous year. That's the sound of 215 cyber criminals facing the music. And it's a clear message that international cooperation is yielding tangible results. The IC3 also plays a vital role in facilitating the recovery of assets lost to cybercrime that have been moved overseas. By working closely with international partners, the IC3 helps ensure that victims have the best possible chance of recovering their stolen funds, no matter where in the world they may have ended up. Section 8. Staying ahead of the curve. A call for vigilance. The battle against cybercrime is a constantly evolving one. As technology advances, so too do the tactics employed by cybercriminals. It's like playing a never-ending game of digital cat and mouse, and we need to stay one step ahead to protect ourselves and our hard-earned money. So, what can you do to protect yourself in this digital landscape? Well, for starters, be cautious about the links you click and the attachments you open. If something seems too good to be true, it probably is. And for the love of all that is holy, use strong, unique passwords for all your online accounts and enable two-factor authentication whenever possible. Remember, folks, knowledge is power. Stay informed about the latest cyber threats and scams by regularly checking the IC3's website and other reputable sources of information. By staying vigilant, educating ourselves, and reporting suspicious activity, we can all do our part to make the internet a safer place for everyone. Section 9. Conclusion: Navigating the Digital Minefield. The 2024 IC3 annual report paints a stark picture of the cybercrime landscape. We're facing an unprecedented surge in digital threats, with financial losses reaching record highs, but it's not all doom and gloom. By understanding the evolving nature of cybercrime, promoting awareness and fostering collaboration, we can navigate this digital minefield and mitigate the risks. Remember, knowledge is power, and by empowering ourselves with the right information, we can all play a role in making the internet a safer and more secure place for everyone.